What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Short Clips Podcast. Today, we're talking about something huge in the world of hip hop, streaming, and celebrity lawsuits. Reports that Diddy Combs is gearing up for a $1 billion lawsuit against Netflix over 50 Cent's docuseries about him. Yeah, a billion with a B. Let's get into what that even means, why Diddy might be moving this way, what it says about 50 Cent's role in all of this, and what it could mean for future documentaries in general. First, let's lay out the basics. Netflix drops a multi-episode docuseries on Diddy's life and the serious allegations surrounding him. It's executive produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who has a long history of trolling, taunting, and beefing with Diddy online. The doc dives deep into accusations, old stories, behind-the-scenes footage, and people from Diddy's past speaking on their experiences. On the other side, Diddy and members of his family are reportedly saying, "Nah, this went too far." They're said to be looking at a defamation lawsuit that could go as high as $1 billion, arguing that the series is inaccurate, damaging, or even straight up unfair to him and his legacy. So right away, you've got three big players, Diddy, 50 Cent, and Netflix, and all three have a lot to lose or gain from how this plays out. Let's start with Diddy's angle. From Diddy's perspective, this isn't just about one show. This is about his name, his brand, and decades of work in music, fashion, TV, and business. Once a doc like this hits Netflix, it's global. It's not like a random YouTube video you can take down. It's a massive platform, and it shapes how millions of people see him, especially younger viewers who didn't grow up watching his rise in real time. If he and his legal team believe the series is one-sided, misleading, or leaves out key context, they might feel like they have no choice but to fight back in the biggest way possible. A billion-dollar number sends a message. This isn't just a little PR issue. This is serious damage to my reputation, my business, and my family. And remember, this is happening on top of other legal problems, headlines, and allegations that have already put his name under a microscope. So, if he thinks the doc piles on, exaggerates, or frames things in a way that makes him look guilty in the court of public opinion, he's going to push back hard. Now let's flip it to Netflix's side. Netflix isn't some small blog. They've got lawyers on lawyers. Before a documentary like this drops, there are usually teams going line by line. Can we say this? Is there documentation? Is it clearly framed as an allegation? Is there enough balance? From their angle, they're probably seeing this as journalism and storytelling that's in the public interest. They're covering accusations that were already circulating, lawsuits that were already filed, and stories that people were already talking about. They might argue, we didn't create the controversy, we're documenting it. So if a lawsuit like this actually gets filed, Netflix is likely to defend their doc by saying, we reported on allegations, we gave people a chance to respond, and we framed things as claims, not proven facts. That's usually the line between defamation and protected speech. Are you presenting something as absolute truth when it's not, or are you clearly showing it as an allegation with context? Then you've got 50 Cent, and he's kind of a special piece of this puzzle. 50 has been clowning Diddy online for a long time. Memes, jokes, captions, you name it. So now he's not just talking, he's executive producing a whole docuseries on Diddy's life and the allegations surrounding him. From one angle, people look at that and say, yo, this is personal. This is a longtime rival making a project that could bury his enemy's reputation. From another angle, you can say, 50 has been in TV and film for years. He knows how to build a story, and he's using his platform to highlight serious claims that other people were already making. Both of those things can be true at the same time. There can be personal history and a desire to tell a story that audiences are clearly interested in. And that's what makes this whole situation so messy. It's not just about facts and footage. It's about motive, tone, and presentation. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Defamation and documentaries. If a billion-dollar lawsuit like this actually moves forward, it could put a spotlight on how far documentaries can go when they're dealing with real people who are still alive, still in business, and still dealing with open cases. On one hand, you don't want to silence victims or shut down investigative storytelling. A lot of powerful people only get exposed because journalists, filmmakers, and survivors are willing to speak publicly. On the other hand, once you start mixing in old beefs, social media trolling, and big streaming deals, critics will ask, is this about truth or is this about entertainment and ratings? Is this about justice or is this about making someone look as bad as possible? If courts ever decide that a doc like this went too far and crossed into defamation, that could make networks and streamers way more cautious in the future. Some stories might never get told because the legal risk and the potential price tag would just be too high. Now, I want to pause and make something clear. We're not here to say Diddy is guilty or innocent. We're not here to say the documentary is completely fair or completely biased. We're just looking at The Clash, a high-profile doc that digs into decades of allegations, a music mogul who feels his entire name and legacy are under attack, a rival producer who turned real-life drama into a streaming event. Whatever you think about Diddy or 50, it's understandable that emotions on all sides are running high. This isn't small money, and it isn't a small story. There's also the fan perspective. Some fans feel like, look, if these allegations are out there, they should be examined. A doc helps people understand what's going on. Other fans say, documentaries can be edited, cut, and framed in a way that leads you to a certain conclusion. If the person at the center doesn't get a full voice, that's a problem. And then there's the group that's just here for the drama. Diddy versus 50, music versus streaming, reputation versus ratings. But at the core, there are real people involved. Accusers, family members, business partners, even employees whose lives and careers are affected by the fallout from all of this. So where does this all leave us? Right now, you've got reports that Diddy and his relatives are preparing a massive lawsuit, possibly the biggest defamation case we've ever seen, aimed at a streaming platform over a docuseries. Whether that case actually hits a courtroom, gets settled quietly, or just hangs in the background as a legal threat, it sends a clear message. Celebrities and their teams are watching how they're portrayed, and they're willing to fight back with everything they've got if they feel a line was crossed. At the same time, doc makers, producers, and platforms are also watching. They want to tell bold stories, but they also don't want to get hit with a 10-figure lawsuit every time they release something controversial. So this isn't just about Diddy and 50. It's about the future of how we tell stories about powerful people, especially when those stories involve serious accusations, old footage, and a lot of unresolved pain. I'm going to throw it back to you. Do you think a $1 billion lawsuit is justified, or is it over the top? Do you feel like these kinds of documentaries are mostly about truth or mostly about entertainment? And if you've watched the doc, did it feel balanced to you or one-sided? Drop your thoughts in the comments, keep it respectful, and let's talk about it. All right, that's it for today's breakdown. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Short Clips Podcast.